The House of Kuru, Part 2, Chapter 34. The Battle with Chitraratha. After the spectacular destruction of Vaka, everyone in the city of Ekachakra began to suspect the sons of Pandu. For the lean and small-looking Brahmana could not have taken on a fully grown Rakshasa and executed him, especially when other heroes and ogres and even armies wrestled and lost miserably. You had guests in your residence for months. What happened to them? Have they disappeared? Asked some of the citizens, while others outright refused to believe that a Brahmana defeated the ogre Vaka. The sons of Pandu, along with their mother, lived in a nearby forest in case of any danger to their former host from other Rakshasas or ogres wanting to test their strength. No matter how much the Brahmana tried to convince them, the citizens of Ekachakra would ask pestering questions like how the battle started and who launched the first punch. And he would often make up vivid explanations on how he fought Vaka, usually involving secret mantras, spells, and enchantments to keep the ruse up that the sons of Pandu could continue remaining in hiding. Spies sent by Dhritarashtra overheard the tale of the Brahmana and how he used mystical spells and mantras to kill the troll Vaka. They pretended to be citizens of Ekachakra and kept probing the Brahmana with more and more questions until they were convinced it was none other than the Brahmana who vanquished Vaka. Fully disguised as merchants, wearing tawny-colored cloaks, Sahadeva and Yudhishthira watched the entire event. Once the spies left the city of Ekachakra, the sons of Pandu felt it was safe for them to leave the city in case the life of the Brahmana got under strife for protecting their truth. After leaving the city of Ekachakra, the sons of Pandu began wandering all over the earth. Those tigers amongst men spent hours wandering in temples and in holy shrines, eating from the donations obtained from temples, and devoted their lives to the study of the holy Veda. They spent each night in a different temple or shrine dedicated to various gods. They particularly favored temples dedicated to the great god Mahavishnu. Full of reverence, they would read scriptures recounting the glories of the mighty god Mahavishnu. Humbling themselves with reverence, they would enter the shrines and temples dedicated to the god Mahavishnu, god of all beings. The sons of Pandu were never in the same village or city or town for more than a week at most. They had traversed in disguise as a Brahmana all over the land of Bharata. Their beards had grown several lengths more than when they left the wax palace. They looked completely different to the princely adorned kings and now looked more like hermits. Throughout their travels, they learned about the cultures and traditions of each and every kingdom, however big and small. They traversed through vast forests and a myriad of complex jungles, keeping the guise of Brahmanas or members of the priestly class. And whenever they went to a village, they would seek the company of Brahmanas to maintain their self-imposed exile. They would, as always, live on alms donated by the wealthier members of the village, sleeping on the cold, hard floor or rough grass. One night, as they were traveling to a city called Somashravyana, they came across a small opening for the river Ganges. The opening had a magical aura about it and it was self-illuminated. As they approached the lake, they observed celestial maidens bathing in the river. Not wanting to disturb their peace, they walked around the bank of the river. But a loud scream was heard, and one of the maidens spotted the sons of Pandu. Just as she did, a louder, more ferocious, manly roar was heard next to them. Who dares to enter this tributary? I am Angaraparna, the Gandharva, and I am the owner of the Bhagirathi tributary. No horned animals, gods, or humans are allowed here, especially when I am bathing with my wives, roared the voice. Soon the sons of Pandu could see that the celestial being was known as a Gandharva. O evil being, this whole world belongs to anyone and everyone. It is a free world, especially this river, which is the beginning of the holy river known as the Ganges. And the Ganges is considered holy. Who are you to bar us from drinking in this river? Asked the mighty warrior Arjuna. Arjuna, your ancestors were killed by a Gandharva named Chitraratha. I am worried. Let us leave this place, said Kunti. Fear not, mother. No being in this world can defeat me in battle, said the conqueror of Panchala, and took his bow with his quiver of arrows. A terrific battle ensued with Angaraparna and Arjuna, as they both fought valiantly. The Gandharva launched a volley of arrows, all of which Arjuna expertly defended. Then the mighty bowman Arjuna launched a volley of arrows, all of which the Gandharva defended. As the battle ensued, the Gandharva began to use celestial weapons. As you have commenced the use of divine weapons, I too shall invoke the Agneya missile, which was given to me by my preceptor and his preceptor known as Agnivesha, and he obtained it from Bharadwaja, said Arjuna, and he launched the Agneya weapon, and it went blazing towards the target, and it was a direct hit. The Gandharva swooned and fell face first onto the ground with his weapon burnt and charred. Vibhatsu swiftly seized the Gandharva by his head and dragged it towards Yudhishthira. It was at this time when the chief wife of the Gandharva, called Kumbinasi, fell at the feet of Yudhishthira and Kunti and begged forgiveness on behalf of her husband. Dear brother, you have defeated the enemy. There is no need to take his life. It does not behoveth a hero to slaughter a man who is already defeated and is protected by a woman. Set him free, commanded the firstborn son of Pandu, Yudhishthira. Gandharva, here, take your life. Leave from here and remember that the King Yudhishthira, king of the Kuru clan, has ordered for your safety, said Arjuna. The Gandharva was both humiliated and humbled. He bowed before the king of Kurus and reached to Arjuna. O mighty armed one, as you have humbled me, I got proud that I was never defeated in battle. I used to call myself Angaraparna, which means one who is never defeated. But as you have beaten me in battle, I will go back to what I was always called, Chitraratha. As a token of my appreciation for sparing my life, let me give you 100 horses from the land of the Gandharvas. These are magical horses which move at the speed of the wind and are scented to smell beautiful, said the Gandharva. I have no desire for your horses, Gandharva, for sparing your life. It is the way of nobility, and the Kuru clan is possessed of noble blood, said Arjuna. Very well. As I am desirous of becoming your ally, give me the weapon of Agneya, and in turn you can have the horses. That way we depart as friends, and you maintain your nobility, said the Gandharva, and Arjuna consented. I will accept your horses in return for my weapon. However, tell me this. How can we be free from the dangers of your race? We are the destroyers of enemies. We are learned in the Holy Veda. We are steeped in virtue, careful to never swerve from it. Yet, in spite of this, why did you battle with us? How can any other man defeat you in battle? Asked Arjuna. Mighty bowmen, Yakshas, Gandharvas, Rakshasas, Bhutas, Vetalas, and Pisachas gain tremendous strength after the sun sets. Any man who performs his daily libation of water to the sun god and iterates on the sacred mantra known as the Gayatri will never be prey to us. But as you were traversing over the period of 3 days, you did not iterate on the Gayatri, nor did you offer libation to the sun god Surya. This weakened you enough for our kind to approach you and fight you, said the Gandharva. However, any person who has perfected brahmacharya or absolute celibacy can defeat our kind, and as you are a perfect celibate, you were able to defeat me in battle. No man who has lost his seed without his control will be able to defeat me in battle, and as you are a perfect celibate, you withstood my onslaught and defeated me in battle with the use of celestial weapons, said the Gandharva. Any warrior driven by desire attempted to fight our kind at night would meet certain death, O descendant of the Kuru house. However, a king who is led by a priest versed in the holy Vedas can defeat us, even if he is driven by desire. Therefore, acquire for yourself a priest who is learned in the holy Veda. Maintain your celibacy and perform your worship of the Gayatri, and you will never fear us, said the Gandharva. And the sons of Pandu, along with Kunti, nodded softly. Arjuna and the Gandharva conversed throughout the night, and the Gandharva taught him and the sons of Pandu many deeds about his ancestors. Just before dawn broke, Arjuna gave the weapon known as the Agneya to the Gandharva and requested to keep the horses for the moment until he needed them. O Gandharva, you have now the weapon known as the Agneya. Use it carefully, as it is a celestial weapon. As you are learned in everything, tell us who is fit to be appointed as our priest, so that we may beseech him to become our officiating priest, said Arjuna. There is a small lake in this forest known as Utkochaka. A sage known as Dhaumya is engaged in practicing austerities. You may appoint him as your head priest, and he will help you to your greatness, said the Gandharva, and Arjuna was greatly pleased with this. The sun is rising, O destroyer of enemies. Me and my kind will need to leave to our realm. Let us part as friends, said the Gandharva, and Arjuna bowed before him, as did the Gandharva Chitraratha, and soon he disappeared into thin air, and the sons of Pandu left the banks of Bhagirathi, and they made their way to the lake Utkochaka. Wow! What a tale! What a battle! Such is the might of celibacy! My great-grandfather was a perfect celibate? I do not understand, Rajaguru. How are such menial things like celibacy and offering libations to the sun god so potent at waving off Rakshasas and Pishachas and other negative entities? Dispel this query of mine immediately, commanded the king Janamejaya. Of course, your majesty, said the Guru Vaishampayana. Your majesty, the world is run on a series of mystical laws and powers. The might of the Gayatri and the force of the sun god protects us, just like spells and incantations do. Celibacy is a dire requirement for mastering celestial weapons, for it provides deeper concentration and was one of the reasons for your great-grandfather's excellence on the battlefield. He could command celestial weapons on the whim because of it. He was a perfect celibate, said the Rajaguru. What is a perfect celibate? Asked the king. A perfect celibate is a person who has never fallen prey to lust, and one who is constantly focused on the path of virtue, and one who performs his worship of the Gayatri without fail, said the Rajaguru. Wow! Ensure that I never miss my worship of the sun god, especially during the twilight periods, Rajaguru. I will practice the holy Gayatri during this period for the protection and the safety of Hastinapura, instructed King Janamejaya. Certainly, Your Majesty. Shall I continue? Asked the Guru, and the king nodded.
I hope you liked today's episode of The House of Kuru. If you have not already, please subscribe to this channel and like this video so that you will be notified every time a new video is uploaded. Thank you.